Good morning, everybody. Once again, you are humbly welcome to this noble and auspicious student orientation program. The beauty of it is that we are all in our various places and we can hook up to this orientation program without having to step out of where we are. I want to appreciate the leadership of the college under the able leadership of the IMC chairman, Professor A.Z. Hassan. And of course, I want to also appreciate the leadership of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria for this privilege to anchor this program this morning. It's indeed a great privilege. I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not taking it for granted at all. And so I welcome us very humbly. And I want to assure us that it's going to be a wonderful time as we go through this orientation program. Quite a number of questions have been asked in our last town hall meeting. Some light have been shed, and we have shared the recording of that program online. Again, today we are going to be getting orientation so that we can get things properly as we start this new concept for the college. Once again, we are welcome. First on our agenda, I want to believe we all have the agenda. And first on our agenda is the national anthem. So even though we are all in our various places, we want to crave our indulgence. So please, let's rise while we take the national anthem. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was supposed to go to that place.
Will you unmute your mic? Please mute your mic. Please mute your microphone, please. Yeah, Dr. Fadipe, I think continue lead us in the national anthem.
Okay, 1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria follow thee, to serve our fatherland, with love and strength and faith. The name of our to serve one founding freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much for the national anthem. Each time I sing the national anthem, it comes with a sense of nostalgia to me. I am a Nigerian, born in Nigeria, and I will ever be a Nigerian. No matter what is happening, I know that as composed in the word of the national anthem, the labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And I want to also plead with us for what is going on in the country. Let's still continue to be loyal. Let's still continue to be good citizens and good ambassadors of this country, and God will help all of us. Thank you very much. Now we want to move to the next item on the agenda. And the next item is introduction of participants and guests. And I want to humbly turn over the mic to our college secretary, Dr. Eileen Oputa, for the introduction of guests and participants. My sister, you are welcome.
Good morning, sir. I need earpiece.
Please, let's mute our mic. I can hear some noise from the background. Over to you, my sister, Dr. Oputa.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I don't know if you have
Good morning.
Good morning. You are very audible, my sister. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, sir. I want to welcome every one of us to this auspicious meeting. From the look of things, the people on board here, I want to welcome the IMC chairman, especially, and every member of the IMC. Professor Akirimade from UI, you are welcome, sir. Professor Ezenduka, UNN, Dr. Ehizibolo, Dr. Abiade, and all members of the board of the Veterinary Council here present. I want to welcome the returning residents and the new residents. Everyone is welcome. I know that we're still waiting for other people to meet with us. And while we're waiting for them, we wish them safe joining of this meeting, if I may use that word. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, my sister, Dr. Ellen Oputa. She is a fellow of the College of Veterinary Surgeons in Public Health. Thank you very much for what you are doing since you took over the mantle as the college secretary. I'm very sure that my chairman, Professor A.Z. Hassan, is ready for his welcome address. Professor A.Z. Hassan is my mentor, and he was my supervisor for my MSc. And of course, till tomorrow, Prof has always been my mentor. Anywhere you find Professor A.Z. Hassan, you must find new innovations, and is ready to bring that to bear in the college. So ladies and gentlemen, distinguished fellows of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, respectfully, let me welcome to the podium Professor A.Z. Hassan. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadipe, former secretary of the college, and what we refer to as our institutional memory in the council, because each time we're having a meeting, we have to drag you along because you are a repository of knowledge of what goes on in the college. I want to seize this opportunity to welcome everyone on board, and my real presentation will be coming up later. Now it's just a welcome address to say you are welcome. We've tried to come up with quite a number of innovative things on board, and this is one of them. We believe that at the commencement of every session, just as we do in conventional institutions, there is always an orientation exercise where participants or newly admitted students are informed of what is expected of them, institutional policy, the need for them to abide.
The technical committee was hearing. Oh, the technical committee is hearing it. And it
Hello.
better.
Hello.
Prof, we are not hearing you before.
We can hear you now.
Okay, let me
Okay,
take
now,
over
yeah.
like this. I'm sorry. I think accidentally my hand moved around and I muted my mic.
Yes.
So sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. It's just that
Yes,
some
sir, we
people are
can
not
hear you.
muting their mic,
All right.
and we are hearing some background noise.
We are hearing you, but there is a lot of background noise.
I think it's not on me. It's actually
The admin should mute everybody.
Please mute your microphone, please. Thank you very much. I think the individual has muted the microphone. I want to seize this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to this orientation program that we have organized for the College of Veterinary Surgeons, primarily for new residents, but by extension, returning residents. We refer to our students as residents, actually, because when they are through, they become consultants. So I want to use this opportunity to welcome you on board. I want to also seize the opportunity to welcome everyone who had ventured, to apply to the college and for whom we have considered for admission. We're going to work a 3 or 5 year program with you. And with the new orientation of the college, the expectations are that at the end of this duration, you will have acquired the skills that we think you ought to acquire. There's a fundamental difference between the residency program or the fellowship program and the master's PhD. The master's and PhD are academic degrees, and they essentially load you with a lot of theory with the hope that you become a better researcher. The fellowship program, on the other hand, will give you a little bit of theory, but a lot of hands-on. The primary objective of the fellowship program is that, irrespective of your faculty, you develop the skills that are necessary for you to be able to practice your specialty at the level of a consultant. That is essentially what we're doing. But later, when I talk about it, I will also talk about the international collaborations we are trying to work out to ensure that the college program is at par with every similar program anywhere in the world. That is what we are trying to make the College of Veterinary Surgeons. It should be one that should be able to equate with. It should be one that we can seamlessly affiliate with other similar colleges around the world. And you'll also come to know that some of the lecturers that are going to be teaching you are actually not in Nigeria. We've made an attempt to engage people from outside this country who are practicing outside Nigeria, so that they will be able to keep you abreast with the state of practice out of this country. So it's a trial run. We're going to keep improving. And as we move along with you, at the end of the session, we're also going to give you an opportunity to fill in questionnaires so that you let us know what your impression is of this new trend of deployment. And if there are suggestions you need to give, please give us suggestions so that we can continue to move forward. The idea is to continue making progress. We cannot get it right the very first year of deployment. There are bound to be loopholes here and there, but we believe that at the end of the first year, we'll have learned sufficiently to be able to take care of that. I think with that, I will say once again, welcome, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Dr. Fadipe, I think I'm back to you. Hello, Dr. Fadipe. Hello, Dr. Fadipe.
Hello?
Dr. Fadipe, I'm back to you. I'm through with the welcome address.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I was trying to respond. Thank you very much, the Provost of the College, the IMC Chairman, Professor A.Z. Hassan, for your welcome address. We know very well that there are quite a number of innovations being brought to bear in this particular program. And like we have been told, everything cannot work 100% when you are starting to test run a program. But we want to see how best we can maximize whatever has been put in place so that we can get the best in the system. Thank you very much, sir. The next on our agenda ought to be the goodwill message from the president and also the registrar of the VCN. But apparently, I've not been able to cite them online. So I know once they're online, we'll get to know, and we're going to bring them up so that they can give us their goodwill messages as our leaders in the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. And so with that being, we still have to fall back to my Oga again, the Provost, Professor Ised Hassan, for the update. Now, of course, Prof has welcomed us, but he wants to now bring us up to speed as to some of the things that we are going to be expecting as we launch into these auspicious innovations that has been brought to bear in the process of restructuring the College of Veterinary Surgeons. So over to you now, Professor A.Z. Hassan again, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadipe, the MC. As we have said, I will try to be as brief as is humanly possible so that I don't have to delve you with too much of the structural issues. And because the most important thing to us here is actually the next presentation, which is the tutoring, which is actually the tutoring. And I think that's the most vital thing. But for now, I will try to, let me just mention to you that about 3 years ago.
Okay. No one is speaking up out.
Please, if you are not the one speaking, please, it's being recorded. Can you mute your microphone, please? Thank you very much. About 3 years ago, and the college programs were suspended. A committee was put in place to review, and I think that followed a few complaints by some of the students that the college program at that material time was a little bit skewed towards being more theoretical than what their expectations are. Consequently, a committee was put in place to review the activities of the college and make suggestions. This committee was headed by the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, Professor J.D. Amin, who did a very good job and came up with recommendations. There were 4 key recommendations made by that committee. The first of those recommendations is that there is the need for the orientation and the direction of tutoring to change such that the emphasis is now placed on clinical skill acquisition rather than theoretical knowledge. Because we can always read about theories. Most of us already have one postgraduate degree or the other, and most of what we teach at the college level has already been learned by, and some of you actually even teach some of the things we are trying to teach you. Consequently, it is felt that at least 70% of our time should be spent on clinical skill acquisition and only about 30% dedicated for lectures. That's the first recommendation of the committee. The second recommendation of the committee is that the college program has hitherto become very difficult for most residents because it requires that you travel to a study center, and there are only 4 of them in the country. NVRI VOM, that was hosting one program then, pathology. We have the UNN Unsuka hosting all the 4 programs. We have the University of Ibadan also hosting the 4 programs, and the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria hosting the 4 programs. So residents have to travel to one of these study centers and spend about 4 months every year. Now that has created quite a number of problems for us as well as for the residents. Most of the residents do not want to compromise their jobs. So basically what they do is to moonlight. They show their face for 1 or 2 days and disappear for 1 or 2 weeks, show their face again and then disappear. Now that isn't really too good for any particular program. But then we understood that they had to save their jobs as well. But it was a dilemma for most of us. And we had been thinking of ways around it. So this committee now recommended that let us explore the online option for lecture delivery. Since lecture delivery will now can be spread out if we're using the virtual platform, it does not now necessitate that we must squeeze everything into a period of time. Consequently, their suggestion is lectures should now be virtual. The third recommendation of the committee is that the academic program should be structured in such a way that it really looks like an institution. Mind you, most of you know that we do have a postgraduate medical college for our human colleagues, and it's structured just like any other institution or university that you know of, with emphasis on clinical training rather than theoretical training. So it had to be structured. So it recommends that we restructure it to be. And then lastly, again, the clinical training, monitoring of students, or it needs to be a lot more intensive than what we're having now. So what we've done in the college is essentially, the last one that I left out is that there is the need to increase the number of centers so that students don't necessarily have to travel to one of these 4 centers. We should have a lot more facilities around the country where students can go to. Now, be that as it may, we are to some extent limited in the fact that we are an IMC. And an IMC is not a substantive board, so there are limits to what we can do. But as much as possible, and we tried, to implement the recommendations of this particular committee, and we also looked at areas that the committee didn't touch, and we also tried, to work on them. So we created a structure. I believe that all the students by now will have seen the handbook for their respective faculties. So in that handbook, you see an organogram. That organogram simply spells out how the structure of the college now is. In brief, the college for now is domiciled under the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, which meant we have the president of the council, then we have a council, and then we have the college. The college, of course, will be headed by a provost. For now, it's the IMC chairman who is acting as the provost. And then you're going to have an academic board. You're going to have a management and then an academic board. The academic board will consist of elected members, and we're hopeful that at the end of this year, we'll be able to arrange an election so that we now have a substantive board to take over from us. After the board, we now go down to the level of the study centers. We now have 4 study centers in the country. That has been the practice ab initio. These 4 study centers are responsible for the registration of students. So if you are a recently admitted student or a returning student, we expect you to register with the study center where you've been admitted or where you've been placed at the point of admission. It is at the study center that you are going to do your documentation. You give copies of your certificates and everything. They open up a file for you. Now, having done that, you can collect 2 sets of forms from the study center, or these forms are also available on your WhatsApp group. You can download them from there. One of them is the mentor's consent form. The second is the clinical training introduction form. These 2 forms will have to be obtained by each and every one of you. So after filling your registration form at the study center, you now collect these 2 forms or download these 2 forms, fill them in the necessary places. There are provisions where you write your name and everything else. And then starting with the mentor's consent form, we created this as an addition to the former practice. So each and every resident will be expected to identify a fellow in your own specialization, preferably a fellow that is in the same geographic location with you, who will now serve as your mentor. You are the mentee. That fellow is the mentor. The essence of having a mentor is to have somebody who is going to work closely with you, supervise you, ensure that you attend clinics when you ought to, ensure that you've learned all the skills that you're supposed to learn, and prepare you for the examinations. Because examinations are going to be centralized examinations. They are going to be uniform examinations for everybody. So in event that you are not well prepared for the examination, you just have yourself and probably your mentor to blame. So it is important that you ensure that all the skills you're supposed to learn, you learn them, and that you attend your clinics very well, and you participate in all the activities. It is important that you do that. That's the job of your mentor. So you submit that form that you have filled to the mentor. The mentor will endorse it as an index that he or she has accepted to be your mentor. You now return that form to the clinical training center. Mind you, I earlier on mentioned study centers, and there are 4 study centers. Now, in addition to the study centers, we'll have about 8 additional veterinary teaching hospitals that serve as clinical training supervising centers. And these are the veterinary teaching hospitals. Sorry, these study centers are domiciled in the veterinary teaching hospitals, and the committee is being chaired by the director of the veterinary teaching hospital, assisted by a supervisor. So these centers are the Usman Danfodio University in Sokoto, the veterinary teaching hospital, the University of Ilorin Veterinary Teaching Hospital, the Federal University of Abeokuta Veterinary Teaching Hospital, the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture Umudike Veterinary Teaching Hospital, the University of Maiduguri Veterinary Teaching Hospital, the Joseph Soswan Tarka Veterinary Teaching Hospital in Makodi, the University of Abuja Veterinary Teaching Hospital. These all now serve as clinical training supervisory centers. In the information in your handbook, you will also see which are the states supervised by each and every one of these clinical training supervising centers. The idea here is that each clinical training supervising center oversees trainees in about 3 or 4 states adjacent to them. So after filling your consent, the mentor's consent form, you now submit it to your clinical training supervising center, not the study center, mind you. Management and overseeing your clinical training is the responsibility of the clinical training supervising center, not the supervising center. Now, the second form that you are supposed to fill is the clinical introductory letter, clinical training introduction letter. Now we have also circulated onto your WhatsApp groups a list of approved clinical training centers around the country, with the exception of about 6 states that we've not been able to identify a suitable facility. In all other states, we've been able to identify 2 or 3 facilities that meet up our minimal requirement. So the expectation is that you choose from those centers which is most convenient for you. Take that form to that center, get that center, it introduces you to them, that you are our students. And of course, I will expect that you've personally established some kind of rapport with that center and they've indicated that they are willing to take you in. So you now come in with that introductory letter, you give them the introductory letter, they endorse it, you collect a copy of that endorsed letter, take it back to your clinical training supervising center. So your clinical training supervising center will have within your file a copy of your registration form, a copy of the introductory form assented to by your clinical training center, and then a copy of your mentor's consent form. So issues that have to do with your clinical training are usually going to be regulated, guided by the clinical training supervising center. So just go through that list that we've posted on your WhatsApp. You're going to see which veterinary teaching hospital oversees your states where you happen to be. Of course, it is possible that if along the line you relocate, you can always change your clinical training supervising center as well as your study center should the need arise for that. That can always be done. So once you've made this submission, we'll assume that you are already registered with a facility where you'll be attending your clinical training. Now, the expectation is that you should put in a minimum of 16 hours every week of clinical training. You are to put in a minimum of 16 hours of clinical training every week. Among the documents that we've also forwarded on your WhatsApp groups are the clinical training record book, clinical activity record book. For those in medicine and surgery, you are going to have the classical clinic recording book. So you are going to fill these books. Every day you go to the clinic, you enter all the cases that you've handled that are relevant to your specialization. For those in public health and others, pathology, etc., we also have the laboratory activity logbook, as well as the field activity logbook. So you have to download these booklets and make sure you fill them as required, because these booklets constitute part of your grading. At the end of the session, we are going to collect them, we are going to grade them, and they are going to be an integral component. They make up your continuous assessment for clinics. So it is important to get them and you fill them and appropriately. Now, when you get these logbooks, you'll see that there's a provision for you to enter the cases. There's a provision for the veterinarian that supervises you to also endorse it that, yes, you have indeed handled that case. But more importantly, we want you to learn from this case, because the clinical exams are no longer going to be theoretical exams. They are going to be oral examinations. They are going to be held in veterinary hospitals. You will be asked to demonstrate procedures, practices, and activities. You are not going to be asked questions that you write on paper. So it is important that you develop your clinical skills very well. So that's the second level that we have now. So we now have, in addition to the study centers, we now have talked about the clinical training supervision centers, and we've talked about clinical training centers. So the clinical training centers are the clinics, the laboratories, the abattoirs, and other places that you go to. Now, for some of you who may be in pathology or public health, and where the nature of your practice is such that it cuts across both humans and veterinary patients, it is permissible let me use diagnostic imaging as an example. If you are majoring in surgery, if your fellowship is in surgery and your option is diagnostic imaging, you are allowed to go to a human diagnostic imaging center where they have an X-ray machine, ultrasound machines, computerized tomography, and MRI facilities. You can go there and have your clinical training. That is where you need to put in your 16 hours every week and 180 hours per semester. Now we're going to have 2 semesters in a year. So 180 hours in semester 1 and 180 hours in semester 2. So your 16 hours every week multiplied by 12 hours will give you about that. We are saying the 16 hours we talked about is the minimum. And this was designed especially for those whose primary engagement is not in the clinical area. If you happen to be a clinician, it's possible for you to put in a lot more than this. But there might be individuals who are not primarily in clinics, and they may only have Saturdays and Sundays to put in for clinical practice. So if you have 8 hours on Friday or Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday, that will still give you the 16 hours that you require. So we expect each and every one of you to do that. Occasionally, your clinical training supervision center might send an individual to go on a spot check without informing you. The idea is they will just go and see if indeed you do go there, interact with your supervisors over there, your other clinicians, laborers, and other people you work with, and then get an opinion of what your performance is. Believe you me, if you fall short of your clinical training, chances are that you may have to repeat that particular year. It's something we're going to take really seriously. So that is the structure of the college as at now. You have the primary veterinary council, then you have the central administration of the college, and then you have the study centers at the level of the 3 veterinary teaching hospitals and MVRI VOM. And you also have the clinical training supervising centers. These are the other veterinary teaching hospitals. And then you now have the clinical training centers, which are the clinics, the laboratories, and other things. Likewise, if you are in pathology and there's a human diagnostic lab around, it's also permissible for you to register in that human diagnostic lab because the basic practices are all similar. You are still going to make smears over there. You're still going to work with a microscope. You're still going to try to identify parasites and other things. Once you've built up that skill, it's going to be useful because there's still a 1 month or 2 weeks, 1 month residency period in your study center this time around. So when you come over for the 1 month residency program, which is going to be in November, it is expected that whatever you've learned out there, the techniques and everything, we will now be able to demonstrate to you the veterinary application of it. So if you are in diagnostic imaging and you did your clinical training in a human facility, the 1 month that you'll be on campus will now show you what the veterinary images look like. If over there, your patients are humans, when you come over for the 1 month, we'll now show you how to restrain veterinary patients for radiography, for ultrasonography, and how you interpret these images, and what you call the conditions that you see. Because the names that are used in humans might be different from the names we use in veterinary practice. So the 1 month residency is to look at the specifics, the veterinary specifics. Likewise, it is also to look at procedures and practices that you might not really encounter during your clinical training, so that we'll be able to take you through this. It is expected at the end of your fellowship that we'll be able to groom you sufficiently to be very, very effective and efficient practitioners. And as I said earlier on, the Veterinary Council is working at the moment to put down a set of regulations as to what you will not be able to do if you are not a fellow of the college. And these are likely to include that you will not be allowed to sign any international documents. Import, export documents cannot be signed by you if you are not a fellow. It includes the fact that you may not be able to be a director of veterinary service. In states, you may not be able to be the director of a veterinary teaching hospital or deans of faculties. These are all things that are likely going to come up. So it's important that you've taken the first step by registering and wanting to be fellows. Otherwise, some of these privileges may be denied you. But equally important for some of us who are employed is the fact that you will not benefit from the MSS allowance that is due to consultants. So I think it is important that we concentrate and try to finish up this program within the stipulated time period. So in a nutshell, this is the structure of the college. As I said, it's not of too much primary concern to you. but it's good that you know these are the forms you have to fill. These are the places you need to go to. However, if you are geographically distant from the study center or from your clinical training registration center, please do obtain their necessary WhatsApp or email so that you can post your documents for them to document you. So we don't expect that each and every time you need to go there or submit something that you have to travel. You can always scan your document and send it. They will print it out and file it. Okay, as much as possible, we're trying to go virtual in most of our activities. But then we know that being a practical program, it at best will have to be blended. So the practical components are going to be handled wherever you happen to be resident. The lectures are now going to be centralized. Depending on who the lecturer is, he or she will make the lecture presentation from his or her location. So wherever you are, you simply key in the right links. Immediately after this, I will provide, I didn't do it earlier because I didn't want a confusion with this particular link. We'll upload the links for all your lectures. So we expect you to just download that. And whenever you are keying in for a lecture, just enter the link and it will take you into the class. So it's your responsibility to check the timetable. First, you see the outline first. What are the lectures available, or what are the lectures at your level of study? Identify the lectures, then go through the timetable and see what are the times that these lectures are being offered. So it now behoves you to key into the Teams platform at the time that your lecture is being delivered, because your teacher will be there to deliver the lecture. Okay, so immediately after these lectures, we're also making a provision so that our lectures can be stored in the clouds. So if for purposes of revision or anything else, you needed to make reference to these lectures, they are going to be recorded and they're going to be stored. And at the end of the semester, we're also developing a customized YouTube platform for the College of Veterinary Surgeons. So at the end of every semester, we are going to download all the lectures that have been taught in that semester, and we'll move it over to YouTube. So you can still go to YouTube and watch it. So it will be there for the next 30 days, God willing. And so that's essentially how the college has now been structured, and that's the way it's going to run. We expect that all the new students have registered, they've paid their fees, because if you don't pay your fees, at the end of the session, you will definitely not be allowed to participate in the examination. You will not be allowed to participate in the examinations. Registration is open up to the end of the month. After the end of the month, you will have to pay an extra fee as the late registration fee. So we're pleased employing all residents to kindly settle their fee. The college is self-sustaining. It's not being supported by any government funding. So your fees are the primary resource that we use in running the college. I think with that, Dr. Fadipe, I think I will just try to pull the curtains here as just an update on where we started and where we are at the moment. Thank you very much. Dr. Fadipe.
Thank you very much, Professor A.Z. Hassan, the IMC chairman and the provost of the College of Veterinary Surgeons. I was taking note as he was trying to give us an update, and it's just to tell us that there are so much that he has said. We are told that the program is shifting from theory to practical so that we can get value for what we want. And we have also told that there's a bit of trying to ensure that we get facilities closer to us. We have 4 study centers, like we know, ABU, UNN, UI, and MVRI Vaughan. But we also have additional clinical centers now in all the VCH across the nation, which means it's getting closer to us than it was before. And of course, we are told that we need to have our mentors, need to fill in our lab activity logbook, our clinical activity logbook, to ensure that we are doing what we're supposed to do. All these are to ensure that we get the best out of the system. We are going to be moving forward to the next agenda. But before then, I want to confirm whether we now have the president and the registrar on call. I want to confirm that I've been trying to check
Yeah,
to
Dr.
be
Fadipe,
sure
sir.
whether they're in or not.
Hello, Fadipe, I'm on. I just want about 5 minutes to settle down to speak.
Okay, ma'am. You're welcome. I also want to confirm if the registrar is on board, please.
What is happening?
Okay. Before we bring on board the president and then later the registrar, we are going to move on to look at the registration procedure. Registration procedure. When the provost was giving us an update, he had actually touched a great part of it. But for emphasis, I will invite Dr. Eileen Oputa, the college secretary, my own sister, to please just highlight a little bit more on the registration procedure. Dr. Oputa, over to you. Dr. Eileen Oputa, over to you. Okay, I want to presume she's also busy on the back end trying to ensure things are going well. Let me just quickly highlight a little bit on the registration procedure, after which I'm going to bring on board the president for a goodwill message. For you to register as a resident, number one, you must have received from us your admission letter for the program, because the admission letter is very important, detailing what the activities are. There is so much in the admission letter that you need to look at and confirm and be sure of. After you have your admission letter, then it is expected that you proceed to make payment, because it is that payment that confirms the acceptability of your admissions. No matter how much you do without that payment, we are not sure you are still with us. So after your admission, you proceed to make your payment. Now, the college has a human face, and because of that, we have said that you can pay part of your payment as for a start. But be reminded that before the examination date, you are expected to have completed the payment of the fees, because only a full payment that admits you into the examination hall. And once you make your payment, you are now expected to fill the registration form. There's a course registration form that you can get online through your various WhatsApp platforms. And to make things easy, a lot of WhatsApp platforms have been created, 4 basic ones for all the 4 specialties. And so you fill that form. And when the provost was giving the update, he have said that the college is disposed to collecting all these things back in soft copies to ensure that you don't have to travel from where you are. But please make sure that these things are transmitted to the appropriate quarters. Now, when you fill your form, you should transmit it to your center supervisor, where a file will be open to you. And of course, like I said, once you make your payment also, you transmit those payments to your center supervisor, who will keep track. And then, of course, you also get back to the headquarters, the college secretary, with your payment, so that she can also keep track, because we want to be able to monitor these things along with you and get you on the right track. So once you have done your registration, fill your registration form and submitted it, and the file is open for you, then we can now be sure that you are in the system. Other things you needed to do had been given you during the update, obtaining the mentors form and filling out the logbook and the likes as you proceed. I'm sure if you have further questions, it will be answered subsequently. That is just in a brief the registration procedure for now. Thank you very much. We will now proceed to take the president of the council for a goodwill message. Ma, over to you, ma.
Sorry, can you just give me 2 minutes? I'm just going to settle down in my office so that I can, just 2 minutes, I'll call you. I will let you know when I'm set.
It's okay, ma. It's okay, ma. Thank you very much, Madam President. I was still trying to confirm if the registrar is on. Please, Malga, the registrar, sir, when you are on, let's know so that we can take your Google message as well. I'll move on now to the faculty engagement. Faculty engagement. Okay?
Dr. Fadipe, please, if I may just come in here.
Yes, sir. Please do, sir.
Yeah, so the heads of the faculties, these are acting heads of faculties. These are the representatives in the IMC representing the various faculties. So we will expect them to just, in a few minutes, just let us know what is unique about their faculty and if there's anything out of the generality that we've mentioned, what is specific to their faculty that their own students or residents need to know. So please we expect these representatives to highlight this information, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that clarification. And like we know, we have 4 faculties. We have the Faculty of Medicine, we have the Faculty of Pathology, we have the Faculty of Public Health and Preventive Medicine, and last but not the least, we have the Surgery Faculty. Now, these are the 4. So in alphabetical order, I've listed them: medicine, pathology, public health and preventive medicine, and surgery. So permit me to pick on the faculty, surgery faculty, Professor Yemi Akerimade, to please give us a little bit about his faculty for the prospective surgery residents. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my brother. You're welcome. Let me welcome every person on board, my acting provost, the president of a council, and other eminent stakeholders in this service mission. Well, I want to welcome all the students on board. I want to consider yourself as very lucky to be part of this restructuring program. The restructuring is unique in the sense that this program has a strong clinical emphasis. Your time in clinics and clinical case management has a very high priority. It has never been like this. So we have to congratulate the members of the IMC for bringing up restructuring. Let me also welcome all the students, both in my faculty and in other faculties. But particularly, I want to welcome residents in the surgery faculty. The residents in surgery faculty are considered to be very, very unique in the sense that at the end of the day, you are the major stakeholder in the College of Veterinary Surgeons of Nigeria because you have that word surgeon attached to your award. Well, my chairman has enumerated all that we need to know with respect to the operational guideline of the college. I just want to speak on 1 or 2 things that are unique to the surgery faculty. If you look at the case loads, surgery faculty has the highest number of units. So that means that the surgery faculty is the anchor point for this training. As you know, we are addressed as veterinary surgeons. So the residents coming into the surgery faculty needs to do a lot, far more than others, to keep the flag flying. They are the image makers of this profession. And as such, we charge them to be up and doing when they come to the faculty. And I'm sure you'll be very happy at the end of the exercise. Well, we have defined the objectives of veterinary surgery residency. And this is unique in the sense that when you come for residency in surgery, you come to promote aptitude and clinical proficiency in the diagnosis, operative management, and post-operative management of animals with surgical diseases. We also strive to provide the resident with instruction in science and practice of veterinary surgery and its supporting disciplines. This is unique to surgery. We also want to provide the residents with the opportunity to pursue career goals in teaching, research, clinical service, and/or specialty practice. This has not been the case over the years. Now, at the end of this program, you should be able to set up a specialized practice, and this will be unique to the profession. And if you get there, of course, it's going to be thumbs up for the Veterinary Council. The surgery faculty has identified the physical training centers that will provide and monitor veterinary surgery clinical training that will ensure that students receive adequate reporting of their cases, and there's easy communication between residents and the college. The college has many subspecialties, in fact, if not the highest in the entire program. We have thyrogenology, we have diagnostic imaging, we have small animal surgery subspecialty. We have to extend this. And for each of the study centers, there are 3 out of the 4 that have met the requirements for the training of veterinary surgery specialty. Each of these centers have a center supervisor. And this arrangement is so unique in that it will facilitate communication between residents and their teachers. So the issue of administrative bottleneck, the issue of where to go, has been totally removed. Now, through your center supervisor, you now know how to key into the operational guidelines. You now know what to do with the timetable, how to link up with your mentors and mentees at the various centers. And I think this is a very beautiful innovation. So as time goes on, when we kick off, as we are planning to do now, I will admonish all our residents in the surgery faculty to please pick the surgery faculty prospectus. Everything we are discussing now and so many other information have been well captured, and we are prepared to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Joseph Yemi Akinrimade, for that warm welcome to all the participants and residents in the surgery faculty. I'm starting with surgery because I have a bias for surgery, and I know the IMC chair, Professor Esedasa, is a surgeon. So I started from the up. bottom up, alphabetical order. Of course, you will also know that one of our very strong pillars in surgery, fondly remembered as Professor J.B. Adeyanju, is fondly remembered again on an occasion like this, having labored so much in the college before he exits this world. So thank you very much, sir, for that warm welcome. Fellows in surgery, just check the prospectus and you are good to go. Thank you very much. Now we are going to be calling on the acting HOD for public health, and that
I'm
is
ready,
Professor.
actually. If you are ready.
I think the president is ready.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Yes, ma. Now we are going to be taking the president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. Of course, you know, she is also a fellow of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, incidentally in the surgery faculty. Again, also, she just finished from National Institute for Policy and Strategic Study. And so when you address her, you must add the MNI to her name. Join me as we respectfully welcome to the podium to give our goodwill message, Dr. AIG Aisha to Abubakar Baju, MNI, for your goodwill message, ma'am.
Thank you. You didn't have the fellow College of Veterinary Surgeons. Proudly. Anyways, thank you very much, Dr. Fadikwe. Distinguished members of the board of the Veterinary Council of Nigerians that have joined this this meeting, the acting provost of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, Professor Hassan Zoaka, all head of faculties and specialties of the college, our distinguished residents, good morning. On behalf of distinguished members of board of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, I want to congratulate the acting provost and his very, very wonderful team for a job well done. Honestly, the board is very, very happy and proud of what you have done or what you are doing, turning around the entire College of Veterinary Surgeons. It has been our dream as board members to turn around, to restructure the entire College of Veterinary Surgeons. As I told you last week during the town hall meeting, the entire board, when we came on board, we had serious concerns on the standard of the College of Veterinary Surgeons. And we made it as part of our roadmap, the priority thing that we think we must at least achieve before we leave office. Although this is the midterm for the council, midterm, we mean that by meaning that after 3 years, we are supposed to conduct a new election. We've been having a lot of challenges. My tenure is supposed to have ended on the 5th of March, 2023. And we're supposed to conduct a new election for the board. But the entire board is intact because of the challenges, administrative challenges, as well as the current political situation in Nigeria. We had an emergency meeting yesterday where the board decided that the current leadership of the board of the council should continue until when we have a meeting with the honorable minister and we have a physical meeting to conduct election for the council. But I'm happy today that one of the major things, our major dream of having a college of veterinary surgeons of our dream, a college of veterinary surgeons that we'll be so proud of, that is competent enough to compete very favorably with other college of veterinary surgeons across the globe is coming up. And what we have seen, I'm sure all of us are happy. I have been through the college, as I keep saying. I'm a fellow, and I know what it was. And it is one of the things also that I felt that even as a student or as a resident during that time, that we need to change the entire concept of our college to be able to be skill-based instead of theories. I remember those days when you go for lectures in APU, and most of the time, except for those that are really skill-based, like the provost himself, who was also a lecturer in the surgery faculty, a resource person, and the late Professor Adenju, who actually were very passionate. I'm always passionate about acquiring skills. So those are the few times that we were always on the ground in surgery rooms conducting surgeries. Otherwise, others will just come and dump lectures on you. You spend from morning till night, you are just receiving lectures. And when the exams comes, and the lecturer will just send you a question and say, define pen. What are the advantages and disadvantages of ABCD? And it was really, really ridiculous. So I'm happy, and the entire board are very happy with this new transformation. That is the dream of the entire board members, that we have an excellent College of Veterinary Surgeons, that you'll be able to attend your lectures within the comfort of your own zone. And we have now centers, clinic centers, and so on and so forth, whether within your state, you don't have to travel all the way. So if, especially with the current security situation in Nigeria, we're very mindful, and the economic situation as well. So you can be within your own state and have a study center, a clinic where you will attach and conduct your services. And most importantly, our lectures are going to be virtual, most of them. You have few months or so to be at the study centers. So areas are so really it is a great revolution, and I want to congratulate the acting provost and his very able team for this revolution. I know that we have not made a mistake by selecting you people to come and stand up and start the new process of restructuring the college. To the residents, please take advantage of this opportunity. I actually feel sometimes like I'm also going to re-register to get a second fellow. I need to ask the acting registrar, whether acting provost, whether that is possible for me to take another fellowship program, whether I can take double fellowship. But honestly, I am so excited that we are going to have the college of our dreams, and veterinarians are going to have something that is user-friendly for all of us. This is the first time I'm using the Google Team app, and I find it to be fantastic. So I believe that all the lectures are also going to be seamless. I want to congratulate the residents for being part of the beginning of this history of the revolution of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, Nigeria. Congratulations. I wish you all the best. And thank you once again, Acting Provost, and your very able team for this very wonderful. I can't remember whether I ever had any induction when I was given admission. In fact, nobody talked to me. I had to go and be asking. In fact, I was always calling Fadipe to give me information. What do I need to do? What happens? Till you finish, you'll be struggling to understand what is happening in the college. But from what I am seeing now, I can see a college where everything is on the fingertips. You have step-by-step guide on what you are going to do, and step-by-step explanation of what you are expecting to the next step. So I think it's a very wonderful revolution, and I am happy and excited that I'm part of this history, and I believe also the entire board members are also excited that this thing is coming to pass, and I believe that other roadmaps from our national ID card and our seal and so on will also come like this. And we will turn back, even when we leave the council tomorrow, we will be able to turn back and say, yes, during our time, we're able to be part of this history. Congratulations, and thank you once again. Have a very wonderful studies during your residency.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for your goodwill message. It's like you said, one of the achievements of the current board to ensure that we have a better college we can all be proud of. For every system, there's always a room for improvement. And I can see that we are trying to improve on what was there before to get us to where we ought to be. Thank you very much for the goodwill message, Madam President.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. I want to also assure us that on this call this morning, we have the acting registrar of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, Dr. Nurala M. Abubakar. And I want to call upon him, my boss, to please also give us his own goodwill message. Over to you, the acting registrar of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, sir.
Registrar, sir, unmute your microphone. The registrar, please unmute your microphone.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
In the name of God, most gracious, most blessed. Good morning, board members of the Civil Council of Nigeria here present, including management committee chairman, and the members, returning and new residents of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, ladies and gentlemen. My pleasure to welcome you back to the fellowship program of the College of Veterinary Surgeons of Nigeria that has been involved for the past 3 years. Due to circumstances beyond our control. The VCN and the board of the council sincerely regrets and apologizes for any inconveniences this might have caused. Most of you are probably spending double time that you could have spent on this program. This is quite regrettable. Be that as it may, we are glad to say that we are back and we are back to stay by the grace of God. Let me take this opportunity to thank the IMC chairman, Professor Hassan Zwaka, and his able team for their tireless efforts in bringing back this program today, which marks the commencement of the fellowship program, which long awaited will come true. I congratulate all of us for this major milestone and event making in our noble profession. I therefore invite all returning and new residents take this program seriously with deep sense of responsibility, commitment, and duty, knowing that this effort we are making is to improve our proficiency as professionals and delivery of veterinary services to the public. The almost 2 million Nigerians that make up our nation will be very glad that we are bringing the best global practice of the veterinary services in Nigeria. And we are the vanguard for this. Let me assure you that the Veterinary Council of Nigeria will continue to support the College of Veterinary Surgeons of Nigeria to be the best in the world. To this end, I once again congratulate all of us for the return of the fellowship program. And I wish you the best through this program as you emerge the best in the world by God's grace. But let me assure you that in the future, as we are all aware, there is inflation in the country, and there's the will that makes things move. The secretariat, the registrar's office is considering with the council, with the board, the review of fees, which has just begun. This program, the beginning of it is a test run, and we look forward to your cooperation to make it better. Thank you very much. God bless the fellow program of the College of Veterinary Surgeons. Long live Veterinary Council of Nigeria. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the acting registrar, Dr. Nurala M. Abubakar. Thank you very much, sir. I can see. For the best. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate the empathy that you have given us, and we appreciate the commitment of the council to ensure that this program is well delivered. Thank you very much, my acting registrar, sir. We are going to be making progress, and this time I want to move the microphone to the head of public health, and the acting head of faculty is Professor Ekene Ezenduka. Prof, you are welcome to give us what you have for us from the public health perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadli. The President, Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the acting registrar, our dynamic IMC chairman and other IMC members, center supervisors here, and all residents. Good morning once again. What I have to say concerning public health faculty is not much, because we are all part of veterinary medicine. Professor Hassan has said it all. But I just want to let us know that the faculty has two options, public health option and preventive medicine option for now. We wish to, or we hope to have more options in the future, maybe additional 3 or 2 options in the future. But public health has its own peculiarity. You know, what we do, we do things concerning veterinary medicine, and we are like a bridge between human and veterinary medicine. In other words, when we're doing our field practices or our clinics, we focus basically on abattoirs.
Looks like Prof has gone off.
Yes, I perceive it's a network.
Okay. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll just give her a little while and then see how it goes. Okay, I think she's back.
Hello,
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you now.
you're welcome back.
Sorry, I had an interruption somewhere. So sorry for that. So as I was saying, we'll be focusing on abattoirs. Of course, you have to make sure that the food the public is, already the meat public is eating is safe for human consumption. So we'll be going there very early in the morning. You know how we do it. You have to go very early in the morning. You have to make sure you inspect the meat. And then as you're inspecting the meat, of course, you'll be working with the resident vet doctor in charge of the meat inspection. So every part of the meat you inspect, of course, you have to record it. It's there in the logbook. And then we also go to farms. You know, our concentration is vaccinations and biosecurity. You have to take record of that. Anyone you do have to record it so that we can see it. And then you have to also go to fish farm as well, because you're doing fish hygiene. So you have to go to visit fish farm, do the necessary things there. What you're expected to do is in the logbook. And most importantly, food processing plants. for HACCP. It's very important. Each process that you undertake, you have to record it. Each procedure you undertake, you have to record it. We need to know that. And those that stay in places where you have milk plants, please do visit milk plants. And of course, carry out all the necessary milk tests. We are not only going to go to all these places, we're also going to go to the clinics or the other veterinary premises around you. You have to take record of what they do. Remember, part of what you're going to do is veterinary records and management. So you have to make sure you have information on that, fill it in your logbook, and then return back to us. The logbooks, of course, I'm sure they're available by now. So you have to look at them. If there is any kind of information you don't understand, please let us know. We'll clarify it for you. I won't say much because once we start, I know we're going to follow. It's not going to be difficult. It's going to be a straightforward thing. And for now, I have to stop. I don't have much to say, but please, we need the involvement of everybody, especially the residents. You have to cooperate with us so that this thing works out. Thank you very much. Hello, Dr. Fadime, I'm done.
Yes, my sister. Sorry, sometimes to tap this button of unmute, you'll be talking and then you didn't know you have not tapped it. Yes, thank you very much, my sister, for that wonderful introduction and welcome to the public health faculty. It'd be like, say, some of us, we belong to so many faculties, including public health. Thank you very much for making it very attractive to us. And we hope that as many as our residents there will actually find value for the program as they undertake the program. Thank you very much. We're moving on, and I want to move on to pathology. Like I said, it's been done alphabetical. We started with surgery, public health. Now we're moving on to pathology. And finally, we'll end up with medicine. So let me welcome the acting head of faculty for pathology to give us what they have for us in the pathology faculty. Thank you very much. I welcome Dr. David Ehizibolo of National Veterinary Research Institute.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you?
Yes, we can hear you. Continue. Hello, after saying we can hear you, we can't hear you again. No.
Yeah, Dr. Hizobolo, we're not hearing you. I think we're having some distance issues. I think the man is in the US or somewhere like that.
Hello.
Yes,
hello.
Okay, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, just all protocols observed. The president of the VCN and our able IMC chairman, the provost, Professor Hassan, other heads of faculties, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'll just give a brief on the pathology faculty. There is no much to say. The acting provosts have said much about what we do in pathology. But I just want to let us know that the pathology faculty offers us the opportunity for specialization in laboratory medicine and also lab evaluation program. And it is hoped that we'll be committed to providing quality diagnostic testing and animal care within the veterinary services. We expect that residents will exhibit competencies in diagnosis of clinical conditions and also interpretation of results and results reporting. These are some of the elements we expect residents to take a special interest in, appropriate sample handling, sample quality handling, and also standard diagnostic procedure. And that is why, if you see with the little changes that we have, the laboratory logbook is there to guide residents on activities that we want you to be conversant with in your clinical training practice. So we hope that this opportunity will afford us that chance and privilege to become consultant, able to do some standard diagnosis with some level of high accuracy. In the pathology faculty, we have 4 options that runs across the study centers, except for MVRI VOM that is presently having just the microbiology option. Otherwise, in ABU Zaria, UNN, and UI, we have the clinical pathology option, diagnostic pathology option, and also the parasitology option. Then, of course, the microbiology option. In the MVRI at the moment, there is just the microbiology option. So all these study centers are available for us.
I think Dr. Isabella is off again.
Yeah, I'm back now. So in a nutshell, that is what. Okay, in conclusion, just to also just add that we hope that within this period, it will afford us.
Ṣé Dr. Díaz ti contact rẹ?
Doctor.
Láti MVJ, pé MVJ ti respond.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Ó send àwọn mo tẹ̀rù bẹ́ẹ̀ báyà máa pàdé lánàá ni.
I think we lost Dr. Isabella.
To lay our hands on some modern diagnostic technique in the molecular aspect of some of these areas of concern. So thank you very much, and welcome you on board, and we hope that you get the best from the teachings and activities for the college at this moment. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. David Eizibolo, for that brief from the pathology faculty. As many as are in the training will agree with me that the facilities we have in the Nigerian Veterinary Research Institute is superb when it comes to training in pathology faculty. Thank you very much for that. We'll now move on to the Faculty of Medicine, Medicine Faculty, and I have the singular honor to invite my own teacher, Professor Joseph Ayo, for the brief from the Medicine Faculty. Professor Ayo, sir.
Ayo, Zaria.
Yes.
Okay. Please.
Is that Dr. Tunji Nasiru in the background?
Professor.
Please mute your mic.
Professor Joseph Ayo, sir. Okay. I think whenever Prof is available, we'll get to know.
I am. Yes, I'm around, please.
Okay, Prof, sir, we're waiting for you.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the delay. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. All protocol duly observed. It is my great pleasure and delight to participate in this program, especially this introduction. Medicine faculty, I'll just go straight into the point. We have 5 options. We have avian medicine, large animal medicine, small animal medicine, aquatic laboratory animal and wildlife medicine, and finally clinical pharmacology and toxicology. 5 options. And I want to let all the residents know the procedure that they need to follow. 1, they go to the lectures as usual, and then they go to the practical and the clinics. Emphasis, like has been said, is going to be laid on clinics rather than the usual theoretical approach. That is the essence of this college program. And it's going to be very exciting to all the residents as they will learn classically the methods of prevention and also treatment of diseases under the Faculty of Medicine. We will expect all the resident doctors to go to the clinics regularly. This will differentiate them from the theoretical knowledge that they have acquired under the conventional veterinary program in their respective academic faculties. We expect all the residents to be visiting the clinics regularly and take pictures, take evidence to prove whatever procedures they have undertaken. We expect them to visit institutional farms, private clinics, and so on that are very relevant to medicine. The medicine program is hosted primarily in ABU, UI, and UNN. Then we have some other centers that are assisting in one way or the other. All these details are found in our logbook and other documents. We want all the residents to take this program very seriously because things have changed and we believe we'll continue to improve as we have been told. So we expect all participants, all the residents and our co-lecturers to be up and doing and supervisors as well. We believe that with this new arrangement, the medicine faculty, just like any other faculty, will turn things around and the college programs will be moving forward. I want to thank all the people who have been involved in this arrangement. It has been a wonderful experience, and for us to sustain it, we need to work very hard, both the resident doctors and the supervisors, the lecturers, and the instructors. Without joint effort, this initial good beginning, the initial good approach that we have, we will not be able to sustain it unless we continue. So I want to thank all of you for all the roles you have played. And as we look unto you for further support so that this program can be improved on a daily basis, areas that we still need to improve. We need to be able to treat diseases, but be able to prevent them. That is the key thing now in contemporary medicine. Prevention is the key word rather than treatment. With a good practical exposure, clinical exposure, you'll be able to know, identify, and take immediate intervention to prevent the emergence of some of these diseases, thereby arresting them at the very beginning. And that is the essence of medicine. Prophylaxis is the key word, and that is what we are going to lay emphasis as much as possible to the residents. A good knowledge of medicine will help you to intervene at the early stage of the disease before it progresses. Thank you very much, so that I don't take much of your time. It has been a good beginning, and we pray that we continue to sustain it. Thank you very much, and God bless. Hello?
Thank you very much, Professor Joseph Olusegun Ayo, my teacher and the current acting head of medicine faculty. Thank you very much for welcoming us to medicine faculty and making it very attractive. We are going to be moving on now to item 8 on our agenda, and that is tutoring, which has to do with lectures, clinics, residency, and assessment. Permit me to welcome again the acting provost, the IMC chairman, Professor A.Z. Hassan, to anchor that one. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadipe. It's been a wonderful ride so far, so good. And I think my hope initially when we started was that we should be able to wrap up this stuff within 2 hours, so that when you drag on things too long, they become uninteresting, really. We'll try to be a little bit concise, so that even though we started a little bit late, so that the overall time we're going to spend on this program does not go beyond the 2 hours we initially wanted. I will start off by saying tutoring here in this context, we're looking at the lectures, or let me say the interactions. They're not classically going to be lectures per se, but the interactions between the learners as well as the tutors is what we're referring to. We're going to look at the clinical engagement, and we're also going to look at the 1 month on campus, 2 weeks to 1 month on campus activity. And then we're going to look at the assessment procedure at the end of the day. And with that, I think our residents, as well as the tutors who are on board, will be clearer on how this whole stuff is going to go. But we know, of course, that further interactions will have to continue, so that if there are questions, we'll address them. And at the end of all the presentations, we're going back to the chart, so that we'll see the questions that have been presented by individuals, and we'll try to address them as much as possible. But the interaction continues. First, starting with the lectures, interactions now, as I said earlier on, what we expect you to do as a resident is first, you already have a listing of all the courses level by level in your student handbook. Please go through it so that you know how many lectures and what are those lectures you are going to offer in semester 1. The next thing is to look at your lecture schedule, the timetable, and see when are these lectures now going to be offered. You note the time that these lectures are going to be offered, because it is now your responsibility. Immediately after this, within an hour or two after this session, I'm going to upload the links now to the various faculty team platforms. For now, both the teachers and the students will use the same link to get into the classrooms. But subsequently, we're going to give the lecturers their own separate entrance into the classrooms. But for now, we're going to share the same thing. We've decided to make it a recurrent meeting, so that we don't have to keep changing the link. Every day there's going to be a class. And mind you, we have about 70 classes in the college program. You have a faculty that probably has about 5 options, and each one of those 5 options has about 5 classes. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So when you look at something like medicine, you already have about 25 classes in medicine. And then we're having 2 faculties. So we have a total of about 70 classes. So if we keep changing the links, that in itself is going to be an unmanageable situation. So what we've done is to create a link that we are going to use throughout the semester. So once you download it, you don't have to change it. Just store it somewhere in your phone. And whenever it's time for your lecture, you just go through the same link. So we now have it as a recurring meeting. And because it is now as a recurring meeting, you can always use it over and over. So if lecturer A finishes his lecture, you don't have to log out. You just leave the meeting. So neither students nor lecturers should please log out. Just leave the meeting. Your hour is over. You are through with your lecture. Leave the meeting. The next lecturer comes in. He joins the meeting and continues from wherever you have stopped. So that's the way the lectures are going to go on. So lectures are now going to be from 1 to 6. So the sites or the team platform will not be open before 1 p.m. And that is to allow students attend to clinics in the morning. We are not saying students only attend to clinics in the morning. There might be cases whose management will entail it going into the afternoons. Fine, go ahead and attend to it. But what we are saying is that we are largely reserving mornings for clinics and afternoons will now be for lectures. So from 1 to 6 p.m., 1 to 6 p.m. is the official time, but we've decided to leave the Teams platform open up to 9 p.m. So per adventure, somebody misses his class earlier, he may decide to reschedule the class again. So we are given 3 extra hours after the official closing time. And if somebody else is unable to complete his or her own class and the hours allocated to him or her are over, you can also use those 3 additional hours that we're placing. So from 6 to 9 will also be an extra time that can also be used. And for those faculties that have only 4 options, which are designated into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it means Friday is also free for you. We are opening up or scheduling all the team platforms to be open from 1 to 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday. Sorry, from 1 to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. So each faculty is now, so the head of faculty will now work with the supervisors as well as the resource persons in that faculty to work out the timetable, observance of the timetable, whatever adjustments need to be made, it will be made. We are also going to share the link with the technical person in charge of these coordination, so that if you are having challenges that go beyond what your supervisor can handle, you can always contact the technical person in charge of it. And his name is Abdullahi Husseini. So we'll share his email, we'll share his WhatsApp, as well as his phone numbers. So if there are challenges that need to be escalated to his level, you will be able to do that. So we're going to do that. So that's as far as lectures are concerned. As I say, Mondays to Fridays, 1 to 6. It does not mean that every resident will have to be in class from 1 to 6 p.m., please. Just check and see where lectures due to your class, because the timetable is such that it covers all the levels. So just select those lectures that are relevant to your level of study. These are the only ones you need to attend, please. So you may find it also possible that in an entire week, for some faculties, or let me say in an entire week, you may not even have a lecture. So it all depends. But check and make sure you don't miss on your lectures, because the system automatically will register attendance into those lectures. And we are going to maintain the 75% attendance of lectures. If you don't meet up with 75% attendance, we think you are not fit to participate in the examinations in the first place, which meant for those courses that you fail to meet up with 75%, you may have to carry them over. So please, we hope we don't have to get to that stage. So whatever you're doing, you already have the timetable, you know when you are going to have lectures, please key in your program such that you will not be able to miss your lectures. And if you must miss your lecture, please way in advance, let the teacher know that you will not be available, and these are your justifications. Please do that. So that's for the lecture and the scheduling. Another thing we're trying to do also is that not what we're trying to do, it's already in place. We have about 5 gigabytes of storage in the clouds. So all our lectures are automatically going to be recorded and stored in the clouds. So per adventure, a student with good reason misses a class, he or she can always go to the cloud, look at that lecture and listen to everything that transpired during that lecture. And at the end of the semester, all the lectures that we had saved we are also designing, in addition to the Teams platform for lectures, within the next 1 or 2 months, we expect that a very robust website for the college will also come on stream. Okay, from next year, sale of forms and everything are going to be online. It's not longer going to be a physical thing again. So all sale of forms and everything will be online. All our logbooks and everything that we're talking about now will all be uploaded on our website. And it's not about we printing physical forms, books and taking them all around. They will be online. Students will download them, spiral bind them, and go ahead and use them. So everything is we are largely going to shift as far as those administrative as well as lecture issues are concerned into a virtual environment. So we'll have that, we'll have our website, so the storage will be there. And as I said, after the semester, we'll download everything and it will now go into our customized YouTube link. So we are creating a customized YouTube platform for the College of Veterinary Surgeons. What it meant is that when people watch you on YouTube, they are going to see in the background College of Veterinary Surgeons Nigeria. Okay, so we're going to put that on YouTube. It's going to improve our own visibility as individuals, because individuals, if they key in your name online into Google. Google is going to prop up all these lectures and everything that you have undertaken. And I think these are the sort of things that improve our visibility as lecturers. Okay, so we're going to improve your visibility. We're going to put you on YouTube. And we also believe that in the not too distant future, as more students visit our site on YouTube, I think it will now be commercially viable for Google and others to contact us to use our site for advertisement, and we can start making some little money from that as well. Okay, so that's as far as the lectures are concerned. It depends on individuals. As a person, I usually prepare my lectures in a seminar way. I give the students go and work it up. They come and make presentations in class. Mind you, this is a postgraduate class, please. This is not an undergraduate class. So it's not a case of we coming in dictating to students. Let's, as much as possible, make it interactive. Let the students be the ones doing most of the talking rather than punishing ourselves. Okay? Let us be facilitators, not teachers. Postgraduate class. So let's have clinics. As we have said earlier, the emphasis is now going to be on clinics. And clinics are going to practically, please, somebody's microphone is on. Somebody kindly mute your microphone. Please, if your microphone is on and you are not engaged, you are not talking, please mute it. Dr. Sikiru. Dr. Sikiru, I'll mute it from my end. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. You have muted yourself.
Somebody.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to mute somebody. I ended up muting myself. Sorry. Okay, as I said.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
No. Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, clinics now will be run at there are about 3 levels of clinical engagement. The first of these is that for those who are going to be in medicine and surgery, it's going to be the classical clinics we know, i.e., they will be in clinics in the morning, attend to all the cases that come into the clinic, put a report in their daily activity clinic logbook. At the same time, for those in surgery, they also go to clinics, all cases that are surgical, not necessarily operative. Wound management are surgical cases, closed fracture management, and some of these conditions are all surgical cases. So we expect you to make entries. If you are in surgery, please, we do not expect your logbook to contain or to be filled up with things like helminthosis, babesiosis, and others if you are in surgery. We expect things that are relevant to surgery to be reported, not filling up your logbook with things that are irrelevant, please. So for those in surgery and medicine, that's the way it's going to go. For those in public health, we know that some of your activities are going to be field activities, some are going to be laboratory activities, and consequently, we've developed field activity logbooks for you, as well as laboratory activity logbooks. For those in pathology, it's largely going to be laboratory activity. So different types of logbooks have been developed to cater for the different faculties of the college. So ensure that your students are well guided, that they have to make entries into these logbooks, and there are provisions in these logbooks for countersigning by the veterinarian that supervised their participation in that activity. Okay. Now, the next aspect of clinics, now for those in the diagnostic clinics, as we said, you are at liberty to go to a veterinary or a human diagnostic laboratory facility. We know that most of our veterinary diagnostic laboratories are not too well patronized, and that your exposure in a human facility might even be more than you going to a veterinary facility. If you are in diagnostic imaging, we know there are limitations. Diagnostic imaging equipment are expensive. There's no diagnostic imaging facility in the veterinary sphere that has CT and MRI in Nigeria. Consequently, we will advocate that for the purpose of your clinical training, go to a human diagnostic imaging facility that has CT, MRI, ultrasonography, and radiography. Your exposure there will be far better than what you will ever be exposed to in the veterinary sphere. When you come in for the on-campus residency we can now discuss the veterinary interpretation of what you have learned over there. For those in pathology, it's the same thing again. If you are in clinical pathology, you could either be in a human facility or a veterinary facility. If there's a busy veterinary facility, fine. If you don't have one, or if where you happen to be does not have an efficient, or let me say, a functional veterinary diagnostic lab facility, go to a human facility. We know that there's hardly any state in this federation that does not have a standard human diagnostic lab facility in the capital city of that state. So please, you are at liberty to go to either of these two. For those in medicine and surgery, you don't have a choice. It has to be a veterinary facility. Okay. Others have some liberty. As we said, for now, for the public health faculty, there are only two specializations, but we are going to, the head of faculty will work with the supervisors so that they break it up. The committee had earlier recommended additional distance for public health. They looked at things like food hygiene, global health, etc., One Health, etc., as options that should be created from the public health faculty. So, but I think the head of that faculty and the supervisors will sit and work on that so that by next year, public health will not just be public health and then we'll have creative preventive medicine on the other side. It's going to be about 5 faculties as well. Oh, sorry, 5 options. We should be able to have about 5 options in it. Just as is the practice, when you go to similar, colleges in other parts of the world, you realize that we don't have just public health and preventive medicine. These other faculties, food hygiene, etc., are already there. And as we said, we're trying to match with the very best around the world. So we'll try to see what those who are ahead of us are doing, and as much as possible, also try to ape them and move along with them. For our clinic engagements, we've said you are required, all residents are expected to put in a minimum of 16 hours every week and a minimum of 180 hours per semester. That is the minimum requirement. You can go beyond that, okay? But if by adventure, your engagement is not in a clinical area, by putting in 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday, that would give you the required 180 hours in clinics. Now, the second aspect, another aspect of clinics has to do with the skill acquisition. There is a logbook that we developed, which we call the Clinical Skill Development Logbook. Different skills that are expected of a fellow in that particular specialty have been listed, and the activity you're supposed to do have been so stated. So the activities have been presented in an instructional language. Do this, read this, do this, engage in this, do this particular activity, things like that. It's in an instructional language. So we expect you to develop those skills. We'll expect that before graduation, you must be able to do about 90% of the skills that are in that logbook. So it is, you are duty bound to look for opportunities that will allow you to learn these techniques. The next thing is tied down to your skill acquisition as well as your clinical activity is an individual we refer to as your mentor. Every resident is expected to identify a fellow in his or her specialty to serve as his or her mentor. Forms have been designed, they're already uploaded. Download that form or collect it from your study center, submit that form to whoever has agreed to be your mentor, let them endorse it, and then you make sure you get a copy back to the study center as well as the clinical supervision center, so that it is documented that Dr. A is your mentor. Now, what we expect of mentors is to ensure that their mentees actually participate in these minimum of 16 hours every week and minimum 180 hours per semester of clinics, that their mentees actually learn these skills that are listed in this clinical skill development logbook, and that their mentees make monthly presentations on this same platform we're talking about. Each and every trainee will be expected to make a presentation of his or her activity for that month. So the different faculties are going to schedule that into their timetable. That every month you create an avenue, you could design or decide to schedule one day in the week, probably if you have only 4 options, Friday is free. You could decide that Friday will now be for presentations by the students. In just about 10 minutes, students should be able to tell us everything that they did within that 1 month. Uploading pictures and short video clips will be very helpful as evidence that they have actually performed or learned how to perform some of these. We'll also expect that now where a mentee cannot find a mentor in the same geographic location with him or her, mentees are allowed to select mentors that are not geographically in the same location with them. But they will now have to use technology to bridge that gap, i.e., sending text messages, WhatsApp messages to the mentor, practically on a weekly basis, informing the mentor what he or she has been doing, sending pictures and short video clips. Once they are able to perform or learn how to perform the procedure, they can take a short video clip, send it on WhatsApp to the mentor. Let the mentor see it and know that, yes, my mentee has now learned how to do this. If the mentee is supposed to learn how to collect blood sample, once the mentee is able to do it, you just take a 2-minute video clip, send it to the mentor. The mentor sees it and knows that, yes, my mentee has learned how to do this. So where the mentor and the mentee are in 2 geographic locations, use technology to bridge that gap. It's allowed because we have to appreciate the fact that there are some locations in which it's difficult to find a mentor from your same faculty. It doesn't make any sense using a mentor that does not belong to your faculty, because such an individual will not be able to guide you appropriately. So please, where you do not have a mentor, you are at liberty, within your same town or geographic location, you are at liberty to find somebody elsewhere, but you make sure that it is indicated in that form that you have submitted so that we know who your mentor is. Still tied on to the clinical activity, we are going to also have in November, students will be expected, or residents will be expected to still have a residency period of 2 weeks to 1 month. Now, different faculties are supposed to look at the skills that they want their the residents to learn, that the residents are not likely to encounter within the period of their clinical engagement. For us in surgery, it is looking at those very complex surgeries that it's not likely they will be able to encounter in their 180 hours of clinical attachment. Let me use this as an example. It's probably not likely that they will encounter a cranial surgery. So when they come in for the 1 month on campus, we'll take them through how you open up the cranium, how you do a cranial surgery, how you perform surgery into the brain. We can also take them through how you perform a heart surgery or vascular surgeries, because these are things they are not likely to encounter during their 180 hours per semester. So that is what we expect all faculties to do. Look at those very complex things that they are not likely to encounter. These are what we should concentrate on. The students are not supposed to come for the 1 month residency and we'll start teaching them castration and spaying. No, that is not the idea, okay? Or you teach them how to put on POPs and things like that. No, that is not the idea. So the clinical skill acquisition is an integral part of the clinic, workload. And I've talked about, the on-campus residency. Different faculties will now decide if they think 2 weeks is enough for them to demonstrate everything. Now, the on-campus residency will only hold at the study centers. That is NVRI, UNN, ABU, Zaria, and UI. So different faculties are to decide how long they think they need. 2 weeks, minimum of 2 weeks, but it's a maximum of 4 weeks. Okay, so students are going to be there. The college will now provide consumables and other things that are required through the director of the veterinary teaching hospital's office to ensure that they get to those locations before November. We've talked about the role of the mentors. So we expect that most veterinarians or most fellows are likely to be involved as mentors. So please, you are going to be contacted by various residents, probably wanting you. So, and there's no limit. If you think you have the energy and the time to take on 4 or 5 mentees, fine, so be it, okay? But look at your schedule, look at everything else, just make sure you don't overload yourself to the point that you become ineffective. It is also expected that each trainee will make a monthly presentation on his or her clinical activities. So that presentation is going to be virtual. As I said, each head of faculty will now be in liaison with the supervisors, and they will decide on either a particular hour. They could decide a particular hour, let's say 5 to 6 every day will be dedicated for that presentation, or they could decide a particular day of the week to be dedicated. As I said, this platform will be open from 1 to 9 p.m. from Monday to Friday. If for any reason you need to have this platform open at any other time other than this, please contact the technical officer whose contact I'm going to provide to you. so that a special arrangement can be made for you for the platform to be opened at that time that you want. We've already talked about the registration. I think I've talked about it earlier, that all students should now obtain the clinical introduction form, take you to where you want to do your clinical attachment, let them endorse it, get a copy of that, provide it to your clinical training supervising center. And as I said, those centers have already been made available to you on the WhatsApp platforms. If you still have challenges, please let the Secretariat know so that we can help out on that. Probably later in the day or by tomorrow, I'm also going to make a podcast, a little bit more details into the lecturing and things like that, but if it's necessary, if it's not necessary, we can just leave that out. Now, for the purpose of assessment, lecturers are going to assess you based on several criteria. That is left for the lecturers. It could be your participation in, but we believe that participation in class should be a factor. Attendance in class should be a factor. Short quizzes and things like that that you might be given virtually should be a factor. And of course, at the end of the semester, we are going to have a summative examination. Now for clinics, the semester exams are not going to be theory-based. They are going to be hospital-based. So it's going to be clinic. So we're going to demonstrate all those skills you are supposed to learn. Okay, we'll go through your logbook, see what skills you said you've learned, and then make sure that you've learned them, because these are what we'll be asking you in the examinations. Okay. As I said, finally, the examinations will likely hold, the on-campus residency will be in October. The examinations will likely hold in November. So we expect that all trainees should work out their program such that they will be free in November to be able to participate in the examinations. So, they will be free from October way into mid-November so that they can participate in the on-campus residency as well as the examinations, which are going to be centralized and are going to take place all in Abuja. By next month, we'll be making a special arrangement for all those who had completed their fellowship program and only have their projects to defend, so that they will be able to come and defend. So we are working towards it. We have two options. One is to make it a physical defense, but more likely than not, we are going to make the defense a virtual defense, so that students don't have to travel to Abuja, and I also don't have to travel to Abuja, so that we'll be able to arrange the platform and get them to defend their projects. This will only apply to those who ought to have graduated within the 3 years that the college was off, so that they don't have to wait until November to defend their projects. We can get them to defend it right now, and they will have earned their degrees immediately after that. Okay? They can wait for the convocation. That's just a ceremony later on. I think with that, that's essentially how the tutoring process is going to go on. And so students are going to go through lectures. They're going to go through clinics. The emphasis this time is on clinics. We've mentioned how it's going to be. You're going to participate. You're going to fill your logbooks. You're going to fill the skill development logbook. You're going to train yourselves to a large extent. You're going to work with your mentors who should be able to guide you. And monthly, we expect you to make presentations that are going to be virtual. And at the end of the day, you're going to have an examination in clinics. And your logbooks in clinics will also be an integral part of the assessment process. I think with that, Dr. Fadipe, I will say thank you very much. I think I've tried to give an overview of the tutoring, but should the need arise, I think we'll continue explaining. But after this, when we get to number 10, which is question and answer session, I will go through the charts, and all the questions that came up on the chart, I will try to address them as much as possible. So Dr. Fadipe, thank you very much. Dr. Fadipe, I'm through.
Thank you, Professor A.Z. Azam. When you meet teachers, you know them, because they make sure that they don't leave any stone unturned. They have made sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, to make sure that you have an enduring and enjoyable session in the college. Thank you very much, sir. Next on our agenda is study center activities. And this is going to be anchored by our VTA directors. And I know the provost will want to say one or two things before the directors come on. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, I think because in the new structuring of the colleges are now domiciled in the veterinary teaching hospitals. So the director of the veterinary teaching hospital with the supervisors in that study center constitute the management of the college in that institution or that study center. So the director of the vet teaching hospital now becomes the chairman of that management committee. The center supervisor, who is the chairman of the 4 supervisors that are in that center, is now deputizing or is the assistant chairman, and then we'll have other supervisors along with them. They constitute the management. So the issues of clinics, training, and other things is now within the jurisprudence of essentially the veterinary teaching hospitals. Now, the study centers are going to perform 3 key roles, or they have several hats on. Their first hat is that study centers will serve as registration and documentation centers for the students. Secondly, the study centers are going to also serve as clinical training supervising centers, because they are also going to be supervising clinics. Some states have also been assigned to all of them. Okay, in the document we circulated on the WhatsApp platforms. Thirdly, the study centers are also going to serve as clinical training centers. So there are study centers, there are clinical training supervising centers, and there are also clinical training centers. So residents can use the clinics in the VTH as their own training centers. So veterinary teaching hospitals that are study centers essentially will serve 3 roles. So we expect that at least one of the directors might be able to say 1 or 2 things about their expectations from students and what they have for our students. And then again, the 1 month of residency that the students will come on campus, they will be under the tutelage and the guidance of that committee, under the chairmanship of the director of the veterinary teaching hospital. They will oversee that 1 month tutelage that students are going to have on campus. So if any of the directors of the veterinary teaching hospitals is around, I think he may just say 1 or 2 things, because the functions are all going to be similar. Okay, so we expect one of the directors to please come up and just say 1 or 2 things. I don't know who amongst the directors is on board.
Hello.
I don't know if we know any of the directors that's on board with us.
My name is Olokpade.
So, thank you, sir. You are.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Our provost.
Just a moment, sir. Let me just, for those who don't know, Professor Olokpade there is the director of the veterinary teaching hospital of the University of Ibadan. So he, on behalf of the other directors, would now. Thank you, sir.
Okay. One sir. Hello, do I have the floor?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. We want to appreciate the provost and appreciate the IMC members for the diligent work they've been doing. At study centers, we are doing center to make sure that our students register, conduct the services of being a clinical training supervising centers for neighboring states, and also to welcome and provide a conducive training environment as a clinical training center. We are in a meeting a few weeks ago with the IMC. So I can assure you that the directors at the various study centers and the executive director of VOM, we are making sure that we come on speed with all the responsibilities expected of us. Since the meeting in Abuja, there has been constant communication with the interim management committee through the acting provost. Documentations, infrastructure that they've told us to put in place, manpower. We've been doing that and giving a feedback to the provost. More importantly, we know that there's a second tranche of leadership, and those are the leaders of each faculty and each discipline. So we also know that they are also getting their work done, so that when it's time for students to be domiciled, and when it's time to also monitor their activities that the intending fellows or the applicants are doing in their various locations, we are up to speed. The only encouragement I will give the intending fellows is that, as said by many of the speakers, it's not business as usual. That when it comes to your time of being at the veterinary teaching hospital, there will be no ghost students. When it comes to filling of your manuals and making sure that procedures are done, there will be no corruption, there will be no false attestations. So let everybody, directors, teachers, and intending fellows, let us all be ready to serve our noble profession. Nobility demands that we do things properly. And I want to give you the assurance that as directors of Vet Teaching Hospital, we will carry on the physical presence mandate of what the IMC has put in place. Once again, let me thank the Provost, the Vet Council, the IMC members for this new plane altitude that they've put the training in the college program. And by the grace of God, we can only get better. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Dr. Fadipe, I think you would,
Hello, Prof.
yeah, I think what we'll do is that I will just go through the charts and try to attend to the questions as much as possible. So let me. Can't help with the audio. Okay, I think that was a complaint at that material time. It has been addressed. Good morning, sirs, Mars. Yes, we've addressed that. Dr. Ishaya here. This thing is not coming up. Good morning, organizers and everyone. Right, a greeting. Abin, please, can you mute everyone for maximum concentration? Yes. Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. We cannot hear you again. Well, I think it was due to some interruptions. Prof. Me, good morning, sir. Yeah, greetings. Is anyone hearing Prof? I think that was when I went off accidentally, muted my mic. It's been taken care of. We have lost you, yes. We can't hear Prof, yes. Please, if you are not presenting, kindly mute your microphone, yes. Good morning, sir. We are not hearing, okay. Admin, mute. Simple online etiquette require one to mute his or her phone, her mic, sorry, if not speaking. Thank you for the advice. If there's the possibility that lecture time can clash for an individual, there's very little likelihood of any lecture clashing because we arrange the timetable such that for every faculty, you don't have 2 lectures running concurrently at all. So for no faculty, do you have 2 lectures running concurrently? Yes, lectures might be going on in surgery, going on in medicine, going on in public health concurrently, but not within the same faculty. And then within the same faculty, let me use surgery as an example. To even avoid the possibility of that, what we did was on Monday, our lectures are for anesthesia. Those in the anesthesia option have their lectures on Monday. Those that are in diagnostic imaging have their lectures on Tuesday. Those in large animal surgery have it on Wednesday. Those in small animal surgery have it on Thursday. Those in theliogenology have it on Friday. And then we made sure that we also double checked because there are some courses that are run in common. You see that different people in different options offer the same courses. So we try to fix them in such a way that everyone will just attend that lecture and it's not in conflict with any other lecture. So as much as possible, we try to take care of that. But if as we move along the line, we notice there are still conflicts, we'll resolve them as we move along. But we'll try to take care of that as much as is possible, okay? The mentor's consent form and clinical form is yet to be loaded. No, it's on the WhatsApp. Just go to your faculty. We created 4 WhatsApp platforms for each faculty. And we've been uploading, the Secretariat has spent the past 1 week uploading all the returning students as well as the newly admitted students. Please, if you have not been uploaded, contact the college secretariat so that they will upload you on your own faculty WhatsApp. So we've made all these postings there. So you will meet it there. Alternatively, you can also contact the admin officer or the director of the vet teaching hospital of your study center. We've also sent those forms to them virtually. They will also make it available to you so that you fill them. It's important before the end of this month that we've secured our clinical training area as well as our mentor, because from next month, we will not have any excuse again to give for that. So you have from now to the end of this month to complete all those processes, your registration, etc., etc. Lectures, however, are likely to commence from tomorrow. So the earlier you do this, the better off you are. Okay, so medicine faculty, through the concept of the mentor, yes. Please mute. Okay. Well, this say mute your microphone. We're taking care of that. Well, one would say full payment. Does it include the 70,000 exam fee? Yes, it includes. It includes the school fee as well as the examination fee. But what we're saying is you can pay this in installments. If you don't have the required funds, you can pay half in the first semester, another half in the second semester. But we expect that you'll have paid your fee for that session as well as the examination fee to qualify to write the examination for that particular session. Because if that is not paid, you will not be allowed to take part in the examination, please. Then thanks for the upgrade in the virtual meeting program. It is highly commendable. Please, can this wonderful upgrade be extended to the registration unit where one can complete the registration within the comfort of his zone? Yeah, what we said is we don't need to extend it actually. Just contact your registration listing and you can contact them using any of the virtual platforms. You can contact them on WhatsApp, you can contact them on Zoom, sorry, not Zoom. You can contact them directly. There is an admin officer in each of the admin offices. So these are the individuals you need to contact, or the director of the vet teaching hospital in your own study center. Okay. So you can send, you can scan. It's as basic as you can scan these documents and send, or you can call people and make inquiries. So we need not extend this same lecture platform for individual interactions because it's going to mix up the whole thing. Okay. So this is going to be reserved for lectures. And can we have the mentor's consent form and clinical training introduction for public health residents? Please, that has not been shared. Okay, I will talk to the secretariat. If they have not uploaded it on your WhatsApp group, they will do it immediately. And we'll make sure that your supervisor and others also have it, that they can forward it to you. Please make timetable for it. The timetable for lectures, for public health, sorry, for pathology and surgery have already been uploaded on their respective WhatsApp platforms. I've received that for public health and medicine, and I'm just going through. So before the end of the day, they are also going to be uploaded. So we encourage faculties to commence their lectures this week. Please, all faculties should ensure that lectures come this week. Medicine faculty, as I said, we are going to upload. If we are not uploaded, we are going to do it. Okay. Okay. And I change my study center. And yeah, you can change your study center should the need arise. How do we contact the admin? What we'll do is that we are going to post on your WhatsApp platforms the contact of the admin, the various admins that we have, so that you can, the admins that we have in the various study centers, we'll put it up there so that you can contact them should the need arise. Okay. How can the student handbook lecture? The student handbooks, the logbooks, and everything else have been uploaded on the WhatsApp platform. But contact your admin officers. We'll also send it to the admin officers so that you can also get it from them. Okay. For better administrative efficiency in the future, the college should consider centralizing its administrative activities such that they interface administratively between residents and all other centers. Yeah, we already have that, but we are not bringing in everything to Abuja so that we compel you to come to Abuja. We are decentralizing. Actually, the issue of centralization is being overtaken by events. We are not talking of decentralization rather, so that we try to take the college activities to your doorstep as much as is possible. rather than centralizing everything in Abuja, and then we'll have to compel you to come to Abuja whenever you have issues. Okay, so please let's make do with it. We now have the study centers, we have the clinical training monitoring centers that are likely to be within your zone, which brings it closer than even the study center. Okay, so and in future, we probably will have the clinical training monitoring centers in each state of the federation. So you don't have to even move out of your state. But this is the first year of implementation. By next year, there are going to be a lot more changes. We are likely to extend the clinical training supervision centers to each and every state of the federation. We are likely to identify additional approved clinical training centers where you can go to. Okay. Should mentors necessarily be from Nigeria? Not necessarily. As we said, if you have a suitable mentor that is outside Nigeria, as long as you will use technology to bridge that gap, we're okay with it. But it's preferred that you have somebody in Nigeria, preferably from your own location, because that individual can physically be in the clinic or the field or the laboratory with you, showing you how to do A, how to do B, how to do C. But where that is lacking, we accept. But I don't think it's necessary that you have a mentor outside Nigeria. No, try to have one within the country. So from the timetable in front of me, lecture clinics commence tomorrow. For me, I'm yet to even know where the clinics will be holding. What do I do? You can participate in lectures without necessarily being in clinics. What we're saying is that before the end of the month, work out your clinic location. Look at the approved clinics and then select which one you want to utilize. Okay, and then identify somebody who is going to serve as your mentor. Complete all of that before the end of the month, please. Okay. So, okay. The same thing, please. How do we get clinical introduction form? The forms are available on your WhatsApp platform, but you can also get it from the various study centers, please. How do I get it? Okay. How do I get added to the theriogenology specialty? If you are not on the WhatsApp, please send that information to the secretariat and they will put you up. That is the College of Vet Surgeons Secretariat in Abuja. They will now put you up. You can send it to their email or you can send it to their WhatsApp. The email the college uses is cvsnabuja@gmail.com. cvsnabuja@gmail.com. So you can send it to their email. They will receive it and they will add you. For those of us in public health, are we going to take a specialization from epidemiology, food safety, global health? No. These specializations are not available this year. But I can see my good friend there, Professor Okolocha. I'm seeing him on the screen. So definitely they will sit back and now look at how to incorporate this, because this will involve having to make modifications on the prospectus and the curriculum itself, because they now have to break up the curriculum to now reflect these various specializations. So it's not something we can do overnight. Okay, they will work towards that so that by next year, these specializations will be available to you. Okay, so please bear with us. If you are yet to be uploaded on any platform, please contact the secretariat. Some of us were added to the WhatsApp group 2 days ago. Please, can all the forms and materials uploaded previously be uploaded again? Okay, we'll try to do that. I think I've exhausted all the questions that are on the chat group. Dr. Fadipe? Dr. Fadipe?
Yes, Prof.
Yes. Okay, one more question came in. Let me address it. What about avian medicine, wildlife medicine? How do they go about their clinical training? If you are in avian medicine, what we expect is if you attend to a clinic that has a reasonable load of avian cases, our vet teaching hospitals all have avian clinics. So you attach yourself to the avian clinic, and as cases come in, you participate in managing those cases. You also participate in visiting farms, okay? And participating in dealing with the management, prevention, and everything else, vaccination programs, etc., of these avian farms, and documenting in your logbook everything that you are doing. That is what we expect of you. Okay. For those who are going to be in wildlife, actually, for those in wildlife, there are going to be limitations. There are only a few locations in this country that we think have that facility. If you are linked up, if you are at the University of Ibadan, because there is a well-established zoological garden, okay, you can undertake your own wildlife clinics in the zoological garden, okay? So you register there as your clinic station and you attend. If you are in Maiduguri, we know there's the Karimi Park in Maiduguri. You can do that over there. If you happen to be in Jos, there's the Jos Wildlife Park, and then we have the zoo as well. If you're in Bauchi and you want to get into Yankari, although out there you are not like in wildlife, you are not likely to participate much. But these are some institutions that we've recognized where you can do your training in wildlife. Okay. There are also some facilities that are involved in the breeding and the management of laboratory animals. So depending on your specialty, you need to identify where you can get that level of exposure. It doesn't make any sense trying to link yourself where you do not have that exposure. It has to be where you have that level of exposure, where such cases are being presented. If you know that you are doing, let's say, large animal surgery, and you probably will not see a single case in 2-3 months, there's no point in doing large animal surgery in that facility. So go to a facility where you're going to get the exposure. Because as I said, every month you are going to be on the virtual platform to tell us what you've been doing in that month. You are going to face the same examination with somebody who also handles maybe large animal surgeries on a daily basis. And we expect you to meet up with his own standard. So please, it's important that whatever option you are choosing, go to a clinical training center that will give you the kind of exposure that you want, that you deserve, that you should have, okay? For those, as I said, for those in wildlife, I think you'll be guided by your supervisors. But by next year, when we break up, public health, if you are in food hygiene and it's going to be meat inspection, it simply meant your clinic is now the abattoir. So you wake up early in the morning, by 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you are at the abattoir, you participate in the activities. Tomorrow you go there again, you must make sure that you put in the number of hours that we so require, 180 hours per semester. Okay, I think that is it. Dr. Fatike, I think I've...
Okay, thank you very much, Prof, for those wonderful responses to our questions. It's obvious that the more questions we have, the more understanding people are getting. Someone who is a lecturer was once in class. When he finished delivering his lecture, he said, "Any question?" They said, "No question." Yeah, he said it's either of two things. It's either they understood everything he said or they didn't understand anything at all. But this one, I'm sure, because they understood what you said, there were questions and you've been able to answer them appropriately. Thank you very much, Prof. We are winding down to the end of the session, and we want to take a response by a representative of the residents. I don't know if we have one earmarked already, or Prof will use his discretion to pick one resident to respond.
Let's just have a volunteer. Let's have one volunteer to unmute his microphone and just go ahead and.
Okay, I'll do that from my end here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Dr. Tuba Tezenwe, resident in the surgery specialty.
Okay.
On behalf of all the residents, I wish to appreciate the efforts of the IMC. They have done a very, very wonderful job. And I think this is going to make the veterinary profession more visible, more respected, and to place the veterinary practice where it needs to be. And well, these innovations are new. I expect, or we expect, an understanding from our facilitators and the IMC as we try to follow the laid out procedures step by step. There might be mistakes, there might be loopholes. We'll do as much as possible to get to the admins or the IMC or the secretariat as often as we can. Please don't be tired with us, because it's still a learning process. We're all trying to get acquainted to that. And we will make the best of this wonderful opportunity granted us by our senior colleagues. And we appreciate you, and may God give you more grace to do better things for this profession. Bless you all. Thank you, sirs.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Dr. Fatike, you are still on the MC.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Forgive me, Prof. I was trying to know who was talking.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dr. Tuba Tezenwe from Makodi.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tugba Tezungwe, all the way from Makodi. I can
Yes,
remember
sir.
you very well. You are of the surgery faculty.
Yes,
Thank you very
yes, sir.
much for that response.
Thank
We
you,
do
sir.
appreciate that a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you all. Thank you.
We'll now turning over the microphone to my very good Oga, the CEO and President General of Pet Care Animal Hospital in Lagos, Dr. Adekunle A. Abiade. He will be giving us vote of thanks / closing remarks. Dr. Abiade is representing the private sector on the Interim Management Committee. And you will all agree with me that when you hear pet care, you hear excellence all over the country. Dr. Abiade is also the president of Small Animal Veterinary Association of Nigeria, among several other associations where he's leading. Join me to welcome Dr. Kunle Abiade to the podium. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jotun Fadipe. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Very well.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. Really, it has been a long day, and I'll try not to take much of the time. I want to stand on the existing protocol so that we don't take much time. Today, it's a day that we've been looking for. It's so gratifying, and we're so grateful to God that all the hard work we have been doing as IMC is being brought to fruition today. So we want to thank the VCN for making this innovation, for bringing their IMC. You know the college has been in limbo for about 2 years. And by bringing their IMC, we've been able to bring a lot of innovations. And some of these innovations are indefatigable. Presidents have been bringing them on. We want to thank the president of VCN, AIG Aishatu Abubakar Baju, MNI, for our leadership. And we want to thank the registrar, Dr. Moreno Abubakar, for the support he has been giving to the IMC. We only pray that this support will continue and will quadruple. We want to thank all members of IMC. I mean, I've been working with teams, but this team is extraordinary. I want to thank our indefatigable president or chairman, Professor Zuaka Hassan, who has been driving us like machine. I mean, this guy is a working machine. We want to thank him so much for his leadership and for not being tired at any time. We want to thank all the other members of IMC, Professor Akimade, representing surgery, Professor Joseph Ayo, representing medicine, Professor Ekene Ezenduka, representing preventive medicine and public health, Dr. Izibolo David, representing pathology, and myself, representing the private sector. You can see that, and want to thank the college secretary, I mustn't forget that, Dr. Ellen Ego Okuta Chime. Hearing Ego, I was expecting some cash to be displayed to every one of us. So please kindly do the needful. You can see that this committee, they have done a good job. I mean, they have done a good job. We have reduced the stress that our members, our residents have been going through by gathering in and spending huge amounts of money to come to the city center. And we pray that, this is a new innovation. We're going to have some challenges, but I know that at the end of the day, we will surmount them. So please, wherever you are, always say a word of prayer to this great team. We also have the other members of the team the larger team made up of the HODs, the head of the directors of teaching hospital. The college is now domiciled. All the colleges have been domiciled. I mean, the college is now domiciled in with the directors, and so they are the owners of these projects of this college. Either though the college was floating, we don't know where it was, whether in the college, where in the teaching hospital was just floating. But now we have given the responsibility to the directors, and we know that they are going to do a great job. We want to thank all they are the chairman of all the committee in the study and training and clinical training centers. And we want to thank all the supervisors, all the lecturers. You know, the lecturers are going to be doing a great job. Either though they have been doing physical lectures, but now most of them are going to transform to an online digital module, which I know that it will not be easy for some, but we believe by the grace of God that they will begin to adapt. So lecturers, we thank you for accepting this new role, and we know that God Almighty will help you. I want to also thank the NG room of this college. I mean, these guys have done a great job, led by the college secretary, Dr. Eileen Oputa.
Thank you, sir.
Muted your phone. Dr. Abiade, you have accidentally muted your mic.
Okay, I've unmuted it, please. I think it must have been caused by by Dr. Puta. Okay, I want to thank Dr. Puta and then the angel room and the college auditor accountants. We hope that he will continue to do a great job for us. We also want to thank Dr. Fadipe, who was the former secretary, yes, of the college. But because of, he has been translated off, but at every time he's always attending our meeting and always a good resource person. Thus whom we cannot do much that we have done without you. God bless you and God bless you. We want to thank our residents. You can see this year, I've seen the list. We now have more of the private residents now in the college. Why? Because of this innovation. So we want to appreciate most of the residents that have applied or are registering to be part of this college. What we are telling you is that you will never regret it. The aim of this new, innovative, rejuvenated college is to ensure that we train you to be a real consultant, a real clinical consultant. Either though we have theoretical consultants who cannot really consult. But anybody graduating now will be able to hold this chest and say, yes, I went through a clinical studies, and now what I now know, I'm going to apply it, and that is our aim. Please feel free to get in contact with everyone involved with this college. Whatever the challenge, let us know. As I said earlier, there will be challenges. As they are coming, we'll be solving them. And at the end of the session, we'll look back, appraise ourselves, and say, yes, either though God has helped us. And so please don't be put off. There will be challenges. We will solve them. God will help us to solve it. Thank you, everyone that has contributed to this wonderful orientation. And I hope that it's been a wonderful time with that we have spent today. God bless us. If I have not addressed anyone, please forgive me. I want to also appreciate the people that have given us the technical backup for these teams. It's an innovation. I know so many people have had some problems with it, but as we go on, we'll get it. So everyone associated with this orientation will thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadipe. Please let me just, because a lot of questions keep coming in on people not being on the WhatsApp group. Please, if you are not, it is important that each and every resident, as well as tutor, be on the WhatsApp group. Our website will be ready in about 2 months, but for now, our key source of interaction and communication will be the WhatsApp groups. So a WhatsApp group has been developed for each and every faculty. If you are not on it, please endeavor to be on it. I've said you can contact the secretariat or you can send it to their WhatsApp, their email. As I said, it is cvsnabuja@gmail.com. Please do that. We will resend by tomorrow, we will resend all the documents again so that those who are not on will try to get on today. Once you're able to get on today, when we resend the documents tomorrow, you'll be able to access them. So please, everyone should make sure, because if you don't, there is no way you'll be able to follow us up. We are going into a virtual environment and we all have to live in that particular environment. Thank you very much. I think Dr. Fadipe can just wrap up everything for us to say goodbye. Dr. Fadipe, back to you.
Thank you very much, my mentor, Professor A.Z. Hassan. Always wanted to make sure that every detailed information gets through to us. Information, they say, is power, and that is what we are committed to giving us. Even as we begin to wind down and end this session, I want to assure and reassure you that the Secretariat, under the able leadership of Dr. Oputa, are working around the clock to ensure that we get the best. They were in the office on Friday, late, Saturday, Sunday. They are always available just to make sure that we get the best. So we want to appreciate them once again and inform our residents that they are in good hands and people are working from the back end to ensure that you get the best. Sometimes you also need to be patient with us because the demands are high, but be rest assured that nobody is more important than the other person. We are trying our best to give equity to everyone's response as they come, and we'll continue to do that. Thank you very much. All is well that ends well. We are at the tail end of the program, which is the orientation program for the new CVSN. I'm excited to welcome you once again to the new CVSN because I know you will have a good story to tell. We know very well that the foundation has been laid before and we are building on it. Everybody's prayer is that his tomorrow will be better than yesterday. And we can see that our tomorrow will definitely be better than our yesterday. The college is made up of the management, the instructors, and the residents. So we are all important. None of us is less important. We are making sure that everybody is being carried along to get the best from the system. We started with the national anthem, and we are going to be ending with the national anthem. But this time around, we are going to be using the second stanza of the national anthem to do a closing prayer. After which, I think we can turn on our cameras for group photograph. So please don't run away, don't be in a hurry to go. There's going to be group photograph at the end of the day. Most importantly, because I can see so many fellows beautifully adorned in their attire. So we are going to be taking the closing prayer now, which is the second stanza of the national anthem. It starts with, O God of creation. 1, 2, go. O God of creation, direct our noble cause.
Our
leaders
right.
Help are you that you to know. in love and honesty, and living just and true. Lord, behind the day, to build a nation where and amen and
Thank you very
amen.
much. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And goodbye to everyone. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Turn on your camera for
President,
group
my
photograph.
registrar, my president, thank you very much for not just attending but staying with us throughout. We appreciate it. Thank you, IMC members. Thank you, residents. We thank everybody. And goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So IMC members, the job continues. I'll be in touch later for a meeting within this week. IMC members, we are going to meet this week so that we can appraise how far we've gone and the way forward. Professor Zuduka,
Yes, sir.
everyone, it has been a jolly good one. And we thank God for the success of the orientation program. Bye-bye. Well, I think we can.
Thank you, residents. Thank you, sirs. God bless you.
Thank you. May God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm ending the meeting now. All the best.